How's it going, everybody? This is Jeff Mann with Team Real in the Blues. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's one of the most asked questions on my channel here on YouTube, and it's about this top. You know, last couple of weeks I've done a couple of videos showing how I laid out this boat and how I built this boat, but most people still want to know about the top. So here's the top. I apologize. I'm one of those ones, I'm a stickler for detail, so a lot of times I get long-winded, and I apologize for that. But I want you to know everything. I know I can't tell you everything, but I want you to know as much of it as I can. That way, in case you decide to build one, you can build one yourself. So first of all, this entire top's aluminum. There's aluminum and glass. That's essentially what it is. I tried to make it as light as I possibly could. There's very few welds in this top. Originally I was going to weld it, and it just so happened that the minute I started getting it together and started welding all the stuff, my welder burned up, or my spool gun burned up, so I didn't have a spool gun, and that's when I decided, heck with it, I'm going to build the entire thing out of rivets. Well, to give you an idea, there's about 3,000 rivets in this top. So it was a lot of riveting, but thankfully I have a air rivet gun, so it wasn't that big a deal. But anyway, so what it is, the back skin, because this is a structural part. You know, this is the part that's got the least amount of meat to it. So the back skin is 1/8 inch thick, and I tried to make it in as big a panel as I could. If you'll notice, this side from here all the way to here, and from here all the way to here, is one piece. So the only seam in this back panel is right here. I cut it out of a sheet because I knew I would use all this stuff right here. I used it to make the door. This contour and the front contour is pretty much the same, so what I cut out of this, I built my front door out of. But anyway, the reason why I do that is that way there's no breaks anywhere in here. So that makes this thing structurally sound. You can't flex this top this way. And of course, I put all these rivets in it, so you ain't gonna flex it anyway. But here's the breakdown on this top. I've got it wired in the back here. I got clear lights and I got a red light. That's for fishing. These two clear lights light up this deck like you wouldn't believe, but I like to fish at night. And you use white lights in the summertime, especially during certain parts of the summertime when the mayflies are out and the mosquitoes are out, they will swarm you. But I've learned through the years that just one of these red lights, and all this is a brake light, like a trailer brake light. It does wonders. It'll light the rod tips up where you can see them. It doesn't mess with your night vision, and it gives you plenty of light, and it don't attract bugs. So that's the reason why I have 3 lights across here. Sometimes I turn all 3 on. GoPro mounts on both sides. I got a GoPro mount on top also, of course, for doing GoPro videos. The door track. I actually made doors for this. And you'll see when I built the top, I built it to where when I'm standing at the steering wheel, my body's inside of this. That way, when I had the doors on it, you know, you could still drive it and the doors didn't affect you. Only problem was I realized that when I'm fishing, I'm one of those that like to get up and run to the rod, so the doors kind of got on my nerves. And the other thing, I didn't need them. Even in the wintertime, because this thing's closed up on 3 sides, you can put the heater out here and just the heat, or put the heater in there, and as long as air can't blow through the through the cabin, it stays plenty warm in there, and it gives me that nice open feel. All right, I want to show you how I made this frame. You'll notice this is like a Z channel. You hear them sometimes, they'll call it a Z channel. You've heard it called an offset channel, but all it is literally 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Makes a perfect door. On the front where I made the door was, I just cut the opening out essentially. I put this all the way around it, and then I just made a door to fit inside of it. And this makes your stop, makes all your edging, everything all in one piece. And this is extremely rigid, makes it extremely rigid. This here is a full 1/8 inch thick. There's no other supports on this section other than that. As you can see, I didn't have to put nothing else up through here. It's self-bracing. All right, so let's get in here to the actual top itself. I got 3/16 inch glass. So what I done was I actually built the top, built all the walls, and when I got done with it, it sort of looked like a gun turret. And once I got finished with it, then I laid out the windows and I cut all the windows out, as you can see in these pictures. All right, let's talk about the top up here. I made this top is in 2 pieces. I seamed it literally right there. So I seamed it right there. I overlapped them. And the way I built it was I've got an inch of slope from the back to the front. That serves 2 purposes. It helps to push the wind down on the bow of the boat, and it gives it a little bit more aerodynamic flow of the air across it. And if you'll notice, I've got the top tapered in on both sides, and it's leaning in on both sides. So it's got a little bit of an angle and a little bit of taper in the front. I didn't want it to be a big old box on top of it. And that's what the only thing, I mean, they look okay, but for me, I didn't want it quite that boxy. All right, this is what I was talking about. I got my own switch panel mounted up here in the top. I have a radio for the top, and I've just been too lazy to put it in, but I've got lighting over the top of that bar on all the way around the windows. I've got the LED lighting. I can flip on the switch. It lights up the entire top with a nice glow. And you notice I don't have anything in the way, nothing hanging down. I bought this heat reflective stuff. You can get this at Lowe's or Home Depot. Works great. You just get you a good quality spray-on glue, put it on. That's been up there for about, I don't know, probably 5 years, and it hasn't come loose, so it works pretty good. And it's amazing how much heat that this actually reflects back up. This top's actually pretty comfortable even in the summertime. All right, I'll do a quick pan here. I made it to where I pretty much don't have any blind spots when I'm standing behind the console. You can see I'm standing behind the console, and I can pretty much see everything just by leaning my head left or right. I can see around those little blocks in the front. But most of the time, summertime, I drive with the top up or the front door up. I rarely drive with it down. Wintertime, I'll close it and run that way, of course. All right, let's talk about the way the top's made. Everything is 1 inch by 1 inch square. And like I say, everything is 1/16 of an inch thick wall, except for that one piece right there. That's actually 1/8 inch thick, and it does 1/8 inch down the 2 sides that tie to that. You can see right there. And like I say, I didn't use many welds on this thing at all. Everything's made pretty much using gussets. Here, let me show you what we got here. There's one of the few that's actually got a weld on it. And it ain't too pretty a weld, but this is about when my welder started screwing up. So essentially I said, okay, that's good enough. Let's go to using gussets. But everything is bridged across. This one runs all the way across. Front's the same way. But the thing that gives this most of its strength is the fact that everything is gusseted. If it's not gusseted, it's one piece. All right, so here's the door. This is that same Z metal. Let's say it's double channel. It's literally shaped like a Z. It's 2 right-hand 90s. It's 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. That's what I use for strength. You can see there's no flex to it whatsoever. So anywhere I had glass, I used either a 1 inch by 1 inch, or I used one of these to give it a little bit extra strength. That way there's no flex. All the glass in this is actual 3/16 standard glass, but I use a protective shatterproof film to put on it. The film is easy to get. You can buy it at Amazon. I'll put a link at the bottom to show you exactly what kind of film it is, and you can order it, put it on the glass. It's crystal clear, and if this glass shatters, it'll stay in place. It won't fall inside the boat. It keeps all the glass shards from going anywhere. Latches, I just use stainless steel barrel latches. I can pull the latches up, and it makes the door where you can open it. Makes it easy to close. Literally just close it, latch the latches. This is just a bimini top bracket. I got one on here and one in here. When you flip this thing up, I've just got 2 hooks at the top, and you just stick the pins through this, and it holds the top in place. Keeping it as simple as I possibly could. All right, we're talking about the door. When I want to raise this door up, it's as simple as it can be. I've got stainless steel eye hooks. I just raise it up, bump it against these rubber bumps. The eye hooks are set where they go right inside those bimini guides, where the bimini control arms usually go. Just raise it up, put the pins in. Now the top can't go anywhere, it don't rattle, nothing. You get ready to deploy it, all you gotta do is reach up, pull the pin, and pull the top down, and seal the door back up. This serves a couple purposes. With it up like this, it doesn't restrict my headroom. I got plenty of room unless I want to jump into it, but essentially I got plenty of room to stand here and the door doesn't affect me. With the door swinging in like this, it means the front deck of the boat is still open. If I swung it out, it would always be in the way. You couldn't travel with it open. You couldn't go down the lake with it open. You couldn't pull it on a trailer with it open. As you can see, I can leave this top up, which I do 99% of the time. This top stays up, locked right here. I've never had an issue with it. Alright, as you can see, I used a good rubber gasket system on this, and it looks like this. You can buy this on Amazon, and what this is one piece. You can buy a two-piece that has a fillet that after you lock it in place, you take and you drive the fillet in it. I bought this, it's a single. So the way it works is you take your, say your aluminum skin, I'm just going to put this up there to make it represent that aluminum skin. It slides on it like that. So your aluminum skin goes right inside there. Then once you put your glass inside this track, all you have to do is wedge this down using soap and water, and you snap that in. When you snap that in, you can see what it done. It closes that front mouth up around the glass, giving you your water and airtight seal. And then if you ever want to take it off, you can actually get a tool, and once you get one corner up, you can pop this up like that, and then run your tool in it, and once you run the tool in it, it pops it out like that, and you can flip this up and pull your glass right back out. Makes it real easy to get the glass in, makes it real easy to get the glass out. Like I say, you can pop this back, put the glass in it, and then lock it down. I'll put a link to it on the bottom in the description. I ordered this from Amazon also. It took about 5 days to get it. If you do make your top and you do make everything out of glass, just remember, you want round corners, and really as big a sweeping corner as you can get is better. When you start getting real tight, this is about as tight as you can make a corner. This is a 5-inch radius, and that's really pushing it a little too tight. It was kind of hard getting the glass and getting this locked in. If this had been a wider sweeping corner, it would have been a whole lot easier to get this rubber gasket in. And the one thing I would tell anybody if they do make one of these is do not use plexiglass. Do not use Lexan. Both of those are way too soft. You'll be replacing them within 6 months. I promise you, because I made that mistake and I originally put plexiglass in it, and it lasted about 1 winter, and I thought, that's it, I'm getting rid of it. For a couple reasons. You can't use a lot of your water treatments on it to prevent it from fogging up, where glass you can apply it directly to it and it won't fog up as bad. And the other is it starts to yellow and starts to scratch. Lexan is 10 times worse than plexiglass. Lexan is a whole lot more expensive, and supposedly it's better than plexiglass, but the problem is Lexan is actually a softer compound. That's why it resists cracking and breaking. Thank you for watching. I hope this inspired you and give you some ideas on what you can do for your own boat. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer them as quick and as exact as I can. If you like what you see, please push that subscribe button and ring that bell. That way you can see any of my upcoming videos. Thank you. I appreciate it.